Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Ben Olson. That's Nathan Fox. Together, we're the founders of LSATdemon.com and the Thinking LSAT podcast. This email is from Austin. I realize this is a hugely nerdy exercise in statsturbation. Okay, that's our term for obsessing with statistics or numbers. But I put together this chart of my LSAT practice test scores to show someone who asked me about my study progress over time, and I thought I would share it in case you find it useful. Granted, it's only my experience and may not be representative of anyone else. Thank you for that disclaimer, but it does illustrate nicely how progress does happen over time, even though it may not be visible if you are too focused on a short-term time frame. Those plateaus are certainly real over a 3 to 5 week time frame, but not so much over 2 to 3 months. In fact, I experienced the greatest acceleration of progress only after I stopped taking practice tests altogether and really focused on drilling. This change allowed me to get out of my head obsessing over scores and really focus on understanding the material better. The demon drilling feature is a powerful tool, and I will continue to recommend you to others. Well, thanks, Austin. We're looking at Austin's LSAT journey. He has plotted a chart here that starts in November of 2020 and ends in June of 2021. Okay, so 8 months later, he started with a 159. It drops down to like a 152. Then it goes up and down, all the way until it gets to a 176 and then drops back down a little bit to 174. But the point is, if you step back and look at this chart, it's going up and down like a stock market, but overall it's going up like the stock market. So stop obsessing about the day to day.
Yeah, I think the real interesting thing here is like if you cover up part of the chart, like, take a note card or whatever and cover up some of the right part of the chart.
Sure. The
So
stuff
like
later
on any given day, if you're assessing your own score history,
yeah,
there are plenty of places like, do you see that 158?
Yep.
If you cover up everything beyond that 158, it looks real bad, or it looks real scary and real confusing. Like, how the hell did I have a 173 before that and then a 158 at some point?
Yeah.
What the hell? And like, I'm doing terribly now. Or before that 173, do you see where there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 data points in a row that are all like right around 165?
Yeah.
And if you stop the chart right there, it would be real tempting for students to think, I'm in a plateau, I'm not making any improvement, what's going on? I think I've found my true level, I'm just stuck here or whatever. And then the very next data point's a 173, and there's a whole bunch of other over 170s that happen kind of right after that plateau, or I should plateau in scare quotes, because it's just not real.
What's interesting about that plateau too is there's several tests back to back, right? It's like test. Yep. It's like, whoa, chill out. Yep. He does seem to chill out a little bit. And then he still has some up and downs, but eventually goes up.
He made that point in his email. And I thought that was worthy of consideration for the show. I thought that was a good point to make, is like, when I was hammering practice test after practice test after practice test, multiple tests per week, I think it was happening there in the February, March window. When he was doing test after test after test, he wasn't showing a lot of improvement. The biggest improvement on this entire chart happens in May and June when he stops taking so many tests.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he took a test in May. And yet that's right after that in June when he took a test, that's when he had the biggest improvement. We've seen it so many times where people take a test, they get a low score or a score that they're not happy with, and they immediately turn around and take another test the next day, sometimes the same day. It's like, you're not taking a test to learn. You're taking a test to get a score, to validate your feelings.
It's just pulling the lever on the slot machine. Yep. It's just like, wow, this time will be different. I want to get a new result, so I'm going to roll the dice again. And yeah, I like that. You're clearly not taking the test to learn at that point. And you
Yep.
should always be taking the test to learn. That's a question that pops up in my study group all the time. By the way, every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, it's free. You go to lsatdemon.com, get a free LSAT Demon account, and you can come to my study group. I hope you will come talk to me at the study group. But one of the questions I get all the time is, the test is approaching. How many tests per week should I be doing? And you've heard that question. I thought you're laughing
So many
because you
times.
hear it
Yeah.
every day. But the answer, last week, I was like 0. I don't care. Like, don't do any.
Do a practice problem and learn from it. If that is in a test, awesome. If it's in drilling, awesome. If it's in a time section, awesome. Just do something to learn.
Yeah. The most important thing you can do is one question. And if that's all you have time for, the Demon is built for that. And you can drill. You can just do one question, get it right, hopefully. If you struggle with it at all, read our explanations, watch our videos, use the ask button. Make sure you're going to take something from the time that you have invested. If you have an hour, then okay, maybe you want to do a timed section and then review that section. If you have 4 hours, then maybe you want to do a full test and review that test. But you're going to have a moment or two far more often than you're going to have 4 hours. And so, yeah, we would strongly prefer that you do one question at a time and learn the maximum from that than like really obsess about taking full length practice tests. You do need to do timed sections. You got to do timed sections. But you don't have to do timed sections every single day. And you absolutely need to learn from your mistakes. Don't do a section, crash and burn on it, and then immediately do another section. Do a section and then thoroughly.
That's the same problem.
Yep.
And drilling is great when you have 20 minutes. You can't, okay, fine. You can't do a time section, but you can do a few logical reasoning questions and learn a lot from them. Yeah.
I mean, we've got a lot of cool stuff in the Demon, but I think it's the drilling that has really made these 20-point improvements that we're constantly hearing about. I mean, Austin, only improved by 15 points, it looks like, into the mid 170s. Austin didn't have that much room for improvement. But the big improvement, Austin, I don't think is an outlier here. The big improvement has come from the drilling. And every Demon student, even our free students, you need to be using the drilling feature in the Demon, like daily. That's step 1 every day, is to like do a little bit of drilling.
Yeah. Easy enough. Just hit start.
Cool.
All right. If you have questions or want to share some interesting LSAT or law school admissions news, email us at daily@lsatdemon.com. Thanks for listening.